Our goal, obviously, among other goals, is to keep this population out of the criminal justice system.
Drug courts that took participants with a history of prior violence, no different outcomes than drug courts that excluded violent offenders. We're seeing that time and time again. There is no empirical reason to exclude violent offenders from drug court. They do every bit as well in drug court as other offenders. Now, this is when someone says, well, Doug, the reason we don't take violent offenders into drug court is because we're protecting public safety. We're not going to have violent offenders out there on the streets committing new offenses. Now, I understand the argument. I get it. But I just have a rhetorical question for you. Where do you think those violent offenders go when they don't go to drug court? Do you think they're institutionalized for the rest of their natural lives? No. Most violent offenders are right back out on the street and pretty damn quick.
I think it's critical for judges to attend the Justice Institute. Regardless if you're in a criminal court, a dependency court, a probate court, a domestic violence court, mental illness is prevalent in the justice system. And if we are to handle these cases appropriately, make sure that we really dispense justice, it's critically important that we are the best educated person in the courtroom on these issues so that we do a better job identifying people who have a mental illness, appropriately speaking to people who may have a mental illness or substance abuse issue, and then understanding the best way to resolve the case so we get the best outcome.
I have to say that as a drug court coordinator for Osceola County, it's refreshing to see a conference available to locals where we're able to learn a diversity of topics on mental health as well as substance abuse. We don't always have the availability for live training. Webinars have become a more common resource, and to be able to network and to have the opportunity to be present with a lot of these professionals in such a small venue is, or a small-ish venue, is really such a treat.
I'm really humbled every time an organization such as yourselves invites me and honors the work that I try to do in the legislature on your behalf and on behalf of people like me.
This was a phenomenal conference for us to both understand that there are other treatment providers that are in search of both good resources and good tools to do the job that we're charged with doing, which is at times challenging, and sometimes we feel like we're the only ones doing it, but then we come to a conference like this and we feel like we're more part of a community than we are just working by ourselves.
Partners in crises. We're dealing with people who are going through crises in their lives, and this partnership, this affiliation of courts and circuits and individuals is huge, and that's what we need to continue doing.
But I realize that my fight isn't the fight that I used to fight. That my fight is about something else today. It's about making sure that I have a better quality of life, and that the people that you all are serving have a better quality of life. And that you all have a better quality of life, because guess what? We do recover. Now, Gail talked about my life, and some of y'all might cry when you hear about some of the things that happened to me. But that's the key there. There was nothing never wrong with me. Something happened to me.
I found the conference to be intriguing and really interesting as always. They had a diverse group of presenters and over 400 participants from all different parts of the substance abuse mental health community, and I think that's part of the fun of this conference, and the kind of learning that goes on is cross-fertilization between the mental health and substance abuse fields, and having so many drug court and mental health court participants here today and yesterday really added a lot to the conference.
Every one of you in your community could recognize the leaders if they do anything, like if they even talk about the issue once, recognize them, because then they'll talk about it a second time. That's the win, because then they go to Tallahassee and you're in a committee meeting and they'll say stuff like, well, my nephew, now they're doing this publicly, my nephew had an issue. That's why it's important to have these juvenile programs, or that's why it's important to do this.
This is a great collaborative to get new information about innovative techniques and ways to treat people in need and who desire to get better. So we're glad to be here. It's been very informative. We go back with a lot of great ideas and get to work on implementing them in our courts.